Can we take the pledge, please? I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, and uphold our honor and glory, so help me God. Please, can we just walk around and just welcome one or two people to this conference? Can we just walk over? Welcome the person seated beside you. Welcome them. If you have not registered for this conference, please make efforts to register now. Please do that. If you can take pictures too, take pictures. Oh, you might not have the opportunity of doing. Okay, we are going to take a group pictures after the event. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. In a world where men are told to stay silent, where strength is mistaken for pride, and purpose often fades into routine, a generation is rising. Men who will take responsibility. Men who will lead with courage. Men who will build with vision. Men who will stand tall to be counted when the chips are down. Men with their heads up and shoulder high. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm using this medium to welcome you to this epoch-making event. Welcome to Be a Man Conference 2025. If you are clapping, do it well, please. All right, we cut to the chase. My name is Segun Funmi Owolabi, and I'm your host for this event. And we will start by recognizing the presence of some of our guests this evening. Of course, I must say that all of us are very important personality in this building this morning. I quickly would like to recognize the presence of Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Ajishafe. Thank you. I would also like to recognize the presence of Barrister Ayola Anson as the President of Men's Fellowship, Great House Christian Center. Please, let's celebrate him. I would also like to recognize the presence of some men of God in our midst this morning. I'd like to recognize the presence of Pastor Dayo Jubert. Thank you so much for being here. I would also like to recognize the presence of Pastor Ogonowo. Please, let's celebrate him. I can also see some very serious, strong men of God here, seated here too. I can recognize the presence of Pastor Tokpe. You know, your son him just left me because I call him Egbon all the time. So please let's celebrate Pastor Tokpe Abiola. He just ran away from me. We'll also recognize the presence of Pastor Okon. I can see Pastor Okon. Please let's celebrate him. I can see Pastor Oni in the building. He's a banker of repute. Thank you so much for coming, sir. If you came from Oshogbo this morning, please just wave your hand. Wave your hands, please. Let's celebrate these guys. That journey all the way from Oshogbo is not easy. Thank you very much. I see the ballers, footballers. Is that an academy? Is that a football academy? What's the name of the football academy? Destiny Football Academy. Congratulations. Welcome to this program. I see some officials, very important personality from Great House Christian Center. I see the director of pastorates. I see Pastor Bobola Adenli. I also see Mr. Sam Awosam. Mr. Awosam. I see Mr. Awosam. I see Pastor James. And, most of all, I am still waiting for a few of our guests to arrive where we'll have the opportunity to introduce them properly. All right. I I will be calling on a man whose efforts, a lot of people have put effort into making today's a reality, but his efforts in making sure that this happens cannot be underemphasized or overemphasized. Please, for the welcome address, let's make welcome Barrister Ayola Anson. Please, let's celebrate him. Clap for him if you are clapping. It's not easy to be a leader here.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I thank you all for coming. So this is my address to you. It is with great joy and gratitude that I welcome all of you to this program. This is a world where men have gotten a bad rap. We get blamed for everything. We have heard about toxic masculinity. We have heard about you are too dominant, you are too aggressive. If you are strong, you are aggressive. If you speak up, a man should be able to keep calm. If you are too quiet, it's a problem. But we are glad to say that men are still here. We serve a lot of good. We are the fathers, we are the sons, we are the leaders of our community. We are the builders of this community, and we are here to talk about our strengths and weaknesses and things we can improve on. The thing is now we cannot receive all the credit for all the good in the world without taking the blame. So when the blame comes, we have to accept it, and we have to look at what we are doing right, what we are doing wrong. And you know how to improve on the right and minimize the wrong, and that's what this meeting is about. Every speaker, every contributor, including you and I, everybody is going to be a contributor in this meeting. Everybody will be talking about how we can get back to original design, what God designed us to be from the beginning, so that we can fulfill our collective destinies. So I welcome you all, and this promises to be a very stimulating period. So welcome, everybody. Please give yourself a round of applause for being here. And sit down and let's enjoy the program that we have packaged for everybody. Thank you very much. Mr. Dashin. Thank you.
That's not typical of lawyers. I was expecting him to still speak for about 10 minutes. But because this place is not the court of law, so he's not in his comfort zone yet. Please, let's celebrate Barrister Ayola Anson, please. Okay, any moment from now, we'll be calling on Mr. Dayo Jube. He will be sharing the vision of this gathering. But a quick one. There have been a lot of questions about who a man is. A man is more than a provider, you will agree with me. A man is more than the one that the physiques describe presence and authority in the house. A man is more than the uncle, the dad, the brother, the boss at work. And because a man is more than all of this, it is for this purpose that a conference like this has come to the fore. So to share the vision again this morning, to let you see why this conference is what it is today, the importance of our gathering this morning is beyond religiosity. It is beyond religious stereotype. And that's why I would have Mr. Dayo Jube talk about the vision of why this is what it is. Please let us welcome Mr. Dayo Jube sharing the vision this morning.
Good morning. It's great being here this morning, particularly having the privilege to share the meeting, the vision for this meeting edition of Be a Man Conference. My name, once again, is Dayo Jube. I'll start with this, and then I'll say a few things that I have to say, and then leave this place. The greatness of every society is largely dependent on the quality of men that the society has been able to produce. The greatness of every industry is largely dependent on the quality of men that that industry has been able to produce. The greatness of every family, quality of men that that family has been able to produce. And no great society emerges by accident. No great industry emerges by accident. There must be men who have actually seen a vision to make happen whatever it is that is happening. Several years ago, a movie was produced, and it was titled The Men Who Built America. That environment built certain men, or raised certain men, who eventually raised the society. So I would like to read these few words, and then I go to say a few things, and I'll drop the mic. The future does not respond to wishes. It answers to vision. Every great move of God, every transformation in society, every legacy ever built started with a man who saw beyond the present. Vision gives direction. Vision gives discipline. Vision gives distinction. And when a man finds vision, he finds meaning. And until a man finds something worth dying for, he hasn't truly found horizon to live. I was stayed in this environment for some time because I was raised in this environment. I've seen all manner of men emerge. I've seen men who didn't take responsibility. I've seen men who were not present. I've seen men who were not accountable. I've seen men who didn't emerge to become the kind of persons that they could have become. And I believe strongly in my heart that if that pattern continues, we probably will be raising a generation that will also become irresponsible. And I believe strongly that this meeting has been put together to raise men who will change the narrative. This meeting has been put together to raise men who will change the status quo. This meeting has been put together to raise men who will build this environment, this nation, and the world at large. And it's a privilege, under God, I believe, that you are here, I'm here, so that we can be part of the people who will transform this society. We can be part of the people who will change this environment. And we can also be regarded as men who will be present, men who will be accountable, and men that will be men. We won't just be men that will be boys, but men that will be men. So you are welcome once again to Be a Man Conference. I want you to say to yourself, I will be a man that will show up. Can you say to your neighbor, I will be a man that will show? You will be a man that will show up. Thank you. God bless you.
As men that will show up, please clap your hands very well if you are clapping. Okay, many thanks. Right while he was talking, in our midst came the presence of Mr. Shogun Oduyebo. He's in the building. Please let's appreciate him for being around. And we also have to welcome the presence of another guest speaker, here, Mr. Molulu Bolarinwa. Please, thank you for coming. I can also see Barrister Ife Adioye, right? Bamidele, Barrister Ife Bamidele. Thank you so much for coming. We met some weeks ago. So let's cut to the chase. We'll be going straight to the lecture proper. And we'll be having one of our guests speak. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us make welcome Mr. Segun Oduyebo as he comes forward. Segun Oduyebo is a leadership expert and management consultant with a strong passion for nation building, organizational growth, and workplace excellence. His keen imagination, broad knowledge, and tireless initiative has also positioned him as a trainer and an inspirational speaker, sought after by individuals, private organizations, and government establishments. Segun Oduyebo is a CEO of DDI Consult Limited, a management consultancy firm that aims at helping individuals and organizations attain maximum level of effectiveness, efficiency, and profitability. Through DDI Consults, he is also involved in recruitment and staffing of different companies. He has worked with Osun State government on various subjects across different ministries: youth development, women development, education, economic development, and currently passionate about Osun State being mainstreamed in technology and innovation. DDI Consult has also worked with different clients in both public and private sectors, including Federal Radio Service of Nigeria, Gold FM, International Breweries, Nigerian Police Force, NPF, Nigerian Correctional Service, NCS, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, amongst others. He is the president of DDI Social Service, a non-governmental organization that works round the clock in developing the capacity of youth as nation and institution builders. The focal areas of these organizations include youth development and empowerment, education promotion, and preventive health for the youth, and good governance. DDI has become a major stakeholder and partner to Osun State government, especially in matters relating to education, youth development, and women development. He oversees a number of other high-performing organizations, including Great House Christian Center, Platform International School, Bethel City Care Medical Center, and Personal and Business Development Academy, PBDA, a training academy that serves as a center of excellence in leadership and enterprise development. Segun Oduyebo has authored several impactful books. He is married to Adiola Oduyebo, a consultant physician, mental health, and their union is blessed with children. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to the microphone, let's make welcome Mr. Segun Oduyebo.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I say ladies and gentlemen because I can see some ladies in the house, and we have specially also asked that men should come with their wives, if possible. One of the things that I believe will be interacting with this afternoon, this morning/afternoon, will be beneficial to homes. So if your wives are here, it's also going to be helpful in the way they handle you. So in case your wife is not here and you still have opportunity to ask them to have them here, you can invite them to join us. May I quickly appreciate the presence of Pastor Mrs. Ajishafe for coming. Let me appreciate them. So good to see you. It's nice having you around. And then a host of other people I've been seeing who are in. So good to have this. This is our first edition of BMN Conference, and I want to especially also appreciate the leadership team that put this together under the leadership of Barrister Benga Hansen. Barrister Hansen, where are you? Thank you. That's the chairman. I must be quick to say that I had no input in what they do other than advice and insight, and I must say thank you for putting this together. All right. Now, this is supposed, like the person that spoke earlier said, is supposed to be a non-religious gathering that is supposed to create a pathway for men to begin to redefine some basic essence in our society. One of the challenges we have had, I was discussing with our guest speaker today, is that we are having a society in Osun State relatively, I'm contextualizing Osun, but of course the general problem that we have in Nigeria as a whole, but I'm talking about the peculiarity of Osun State. One of the major challenges we have is that we do not have direction provided by men. We do not have men who will be intentional to shape the direction of our society. In the last 3 days, I've been with Nigerian Civil Defense, training Osun State Command, Nigerian Civil Defense. And one of the subject of focus for me was organizational culture. And I remember while I was talking to their leaders, and I said, the culture of an organization to a large extent will depend on the leaders, and how the leaders want it to be will determine how it is. In the same way, how a society will run to a large extent is depending on if men in that society will show up. Unfortunately for us, we are in a society where men are not showing up. If you do a simple survey, I've done it, if you do a simple survey around you, just look at an average home, 10 or 12, homes that you see around you. One of the things you will find out is that they are mostly headed by women. It's women that are the breadwinner, women that are shaping how the children will go to school, and a host of other things like that. Not that the men may not be physically available. The men may even be in the house, but they really are not intentional. And it's a challenge that will rise up as men and really show up and not just be physically there. And when I'm talking about us showing up, I'm not talking about physical show up. I'm talking about showing up emotionally. I'm talking about showing up with vision. I'm talking about showing up with direction. I'm talking about showing up with a blueprint. Years past, as I looked at the history of this city, one of the things I did when I came to this city was to study the city, the past, and then understand the present with an idea of trying to see what the future could look like. The same school that we are in, this school that we are holding this program, Militia Grammar School, was actually a concept of men who came together, fathers of this land, who came together at a point in time and said, look, our children have to be educated. And then they form a society, say Egbe Atunrushi or something like that at that time. And they were the ones that actually built this school and then saw to the process of raising men, raising the next generation. They even went as far as considering how to raise rich people. And they set a target for themselves. How many are they going to raise? Today we don't have that much. So there is a need for men to really show up. And I'm going to be very brief in my focus because my assignment primarily is to introduce the direction we are going. And hopefully when our other speakers will be speaking, you'll probably also be able to gain some insight. And we have also ensured that it's not going to be just speaking. We are going to be having panel session where we are going to be having back and forth, sharing ideas. Okay. So the first thing for me on this matter is to actually analyze the problem. Where do we have the problem? What's the problem at hand that we want to solve? And the problem at hand that we want to solve is the fact that there's so much weight on men. The society expects so much from us. You are expected to be the breadwinner of the family, provide all the money for the food, provide the house rent, provide the school fees, provide money for your wife, and all of that. Sometimes that weight, that demand can be so crushing that makes a man to either pursue material things or to just resign to fate and say, well, I cannot come and kill myself. I cannot come and die. And it makes men not to really take on the responsibility of providing direction and leadership. Sometimes it's not just the weight of the responsibility. Sometimes it's the challenge of the family that a man is coming from, how the man was raised, the kind of family that man came from, the picture that he has seen. I was sharing with a set of couples some few weeks ago about the fact that when I was growing up, I didn't see a model marriage because my father was what you call a serial monogamist. By extension, he was a polygamist. And so I really didn't see my father had any romantic behavior with his wife. He was just on his own. There was no attachment. And if God never helped me, I would have a problem. I would have had a problem. And I remember while I was doing this session with the couples, one of my leaders stood up because we were talking about silent burdens, the baggages that people come into marriages with that can affect their marriage and affect their wives, affect their children. And then one of my leaders stood up, he's also here smiling now, stood up and said, I think I now understand where my problem is. He said, when he was growing up too, he never saw his father play with his mother. His father comes home, strictly respected man, and all of that. The mother does some, brings the food, the man eats his food. He said, so when he also got married, because he never saw that model, anytime the wife come around to play with him, to touch him, he will push her aside. Because he sees it as a burden. He was seeing it as a challenge. He said, up until that time, he never knew it was a problem. He said, now I knew it was a problem. And the marriage should be about 10 years or thereabout now. So which means he didn't see a model. And many of us men, we never saw model that should have helped us. And because when a man doesn't see model, probably you grew up in a family where your father didn't provide leadership. He might be a Lord Lugard. You know, that fact that somebody is strict and harsh doesn't mean he's leading. Are you following me at all now? And some of our fathers probably were harsh, they were strict and all of that, but we didn't see leadership. Sometimes we can go to the extreme. I would never like to be like my father. And I would never like to be like my father that you have in your mind. The impression is that your father was too strict, you are going to be liberal. And then your liberality becomes directionlessness. And it becomes a problem to the next generation. These are part of the things that we are dealing with as a society. And we must know that it's a problem, that you didn't have a model. I am very grateful to God that God rescued me, because the first thing that happened to me was that there was a couple that was brought into my life. They invited me to a church, and then I began to learn from them. While we were driving to church, I'll see the wife will be playing with the husband's bear. You know, that was very disrespectful for me. You know, playing with the bears, playing with his head. You hear I say, Toye wunu bueno. And where I will sit, I say, yeah. But they would joke like friends. But over the time, I quickly warm up to it and say, maybe this is the better pattern. Are you following me at all? And I say that to say something to you. Some of us might have grown as men, but you never saw good pattern. You might need to go and rework on yourself. Are you following me at all? Because it means that you are bleeding on the inside. And if you are not whole on the inside, you cannot give health outside. And we need you as men. That generation is waiting for you. As men, we are actually the custodian of the values and the virtues of our society. And we owe it to ourselves and the next generation to create right model and mold the next generation appropriately. But we must first know, where is something wrong with me as a person? For some other people, it's not that. It's just the ambition. You want to make it. And because you want to make it, I'll call it an imbalanced ambition. You want to be on top of the world. You want to be rich. I remember a man was talking to me the other day. He said, if a man is not rich, he's worthless. He says, so you first seek out to be rich. The other things will follow. While that may sound like wisdom, and you see a lot of people are giving that kind of so-called wisdom, including University of, is it Kenge, or what they call the name of that bar? Lege, yes, including the University of Lege. And it will amaze you how people like Lege have become the mentor and the lecturer. Oh, yeah, Gege, yeah, thank you, Gege. Had become the mentor and lecturer of men. And then he tells them different things. And then you see on the social media, either on Facebook or on TikTok, that you see men say, yes, I agree, I concur. Unfortunately, are you following me, Atona? And you see matured men consenting to it. And you know what I see that Gege is doing? In direction of irresponsible men. But because media is a very powerful tool. Are you following me, Atona? We may not know the implication now until the next 20 years. If we don't have sessions like this that will help us to put things in perspective. So you have men who are making it. They want to build houses. They want to buy cars. And there's that. They want to become MDs and all that. Those are the things that they have. I agree with you. I don't have a problem with that. But just imagine, after achieving all of that, you look behind you and you cannot see legacy that you have left behind. And I don't need you to go very far. In this city, I can take you to houses that have become abandoned by men but their children were derelicts. Men who once upon a time shook this city. They had money. They had influence in courts. But they didn't have any moral legacy that they left behind. They changed no society. And that's to tell you that your material wealth, general economic success, if it's not well balanced and channeled by vision, ultimately will mean nothing. Ultimately, it will mean nothing. So be thinking, because as a man, your real worth is the legacy that you will leave behind. How many lives you would have charged, how many lives you would have been part of shaping, so that you are leaving something worthwhile behind. So while we say there is problem, I'm saying that part of the problem is that some men just want to make it by all means. And so they have no balance. They don't have a balanced view of life. Number 4 is the issue of people who life has dealt bad blow. Probably they've had a setback, or they have had marital issues. I remember talking to him while I was doing the training for the senior officers at NSCDC during the course of the week. I think my first day was some of their topmost officers. And then one of them came to me and said, Obìnrin Ọlọ́run. And then I said, why? He said, I don't live with my wife. I said, yeah. So we began to talk. Apparently what happened was that I was talking to him about the fact that work-life balance, because some few years ago I did a survey. I did a survey of Nigerian police, Nigerian army, and Nigerian police, Nigerian army, I think Nigerian Correctional Center, paramilitaries and military. I did a survey of their marriage. And one of the things we found out is that many of them, they have wives at different stations because they were constantly being posted. So it was actually the effect of transfer on marital satisfaction of paramilitary. And so we come to a conclusion that majority of them don't have marital satisfaction. And one of the reasons why they don't have marital satisfaction is that they were moved from place to place, and many of them do not have emotional balance and emotional competence to be able to create internal balance while they are being moved. Are you following me, Atona? So while they are being moved from place to place, they get disconnected from their wives. They may be married, but they are emotionally disconnected. So in the process, they have other women that they are emotionally connected to. I remember I was doing, I think that should be about 7 or 8 years ago, I was doing training for Nigerian police, Ogun State Command. And one of the area commanders said to me, he said, I've not seen my wife in 2 months. And for him, he was boasting to me about it. And for me, in my mind, I was asking, you've not seen your wife in 2 months. Why? You are both in Nigeria. He said, it is work first. And I knew something was wrong there. Okay, but let's get back to what I'm talking about as well. So this man said, my wife and my children are in the UK. You see, women, and then, so finally, we got to the root of the matter. I think maybe his wife did one or two things to him and all of that that affected him. Said he had to leave the wife and the children in the UK, came back to Nigeria, and he never trusts women, never believed in women and all that. While we cannot erase the fact that life does happen, and you must take it, life happens. Are you following me at all now? Life happens. I've seen people who are married under 1 year, they have to divorce. Life does happen. Are you following me at all now? But the fact that life happens, either happen to you or happen to someone close to you, does not mean that you should get into hasty generalization. Are you following me at all now? So many lives have been destroyed because people got into hasty generalization. Please help me welcome this wonderful lady that have been with me over the years. This is my pretty princess of 20-something years. Help me welcome her. Yes. Sorry, I have to disrupt my flow because anytime she comes around. That's a woman that believed in me when I didn't have much. I had just one trouser and two shirts, and she agreed to go with me. All right, so thank you for choosing to go with me. She's one person that has believed in my madness over the years, and then God is turning the madness to sense. So we need to appreciate her courage. All right, so some men, because of what life has dealt them, the things that they have seen with life, experiences that their friends have had, they then make generalization. And because of such generalization, their disposition and outlook to life becomes bad. The advice they give becomes negative. The things that they now do towards their children becomes horrible. I was in a meeting and some fairly comfortable people, even in the city. And then one of them said, and I'm wondering, from where to where? And then guess why the person said so? He said, by the time you are old, he said, all of the children will go to your wife, and they would have grown up, that you will be lonely. And then they began to give examples. They began to give examples of who had that, who did that. Unfortunately, I'm currently writing the biography of Governor Olumilua. Bamidele Olumilua. The family reached out to us to help them write. And Governor Bamidele Olumilua is one of the polygamists I've seen that had been able to put his house together. But however, I cannot erase the fact that the mindset that led to that polygamy was also coming from life experience. He had one or two issues and then concluded that, look, I will not be a monogamist. I will not have one wife. And then for that reason, I had 3 wives. And he called himself unrepentant polygamist. Yes, God has helped him by virtue of the fact that he had to move close to God and all of that. He's been able to put his house a little in order. But you cannot erase the fact that there were issues. Are you following me at all now? So the point I'm making in essence is that there are men who life have dealt bad blow, or probably they are around people that life have dealt them negative blow, and so they come up with those ideas. And you know, today now there's a lot of advocacy going on for men. Men, enjoy yourself. Now, there is a way in which that advocacy can be imbalanced if we are not very careful. Are you following me at all now? It's a lot about self-love, self-care, which is good, but when you take it too far, it makes you lose sight of your responsibility as men. Can I be honest with you? Every time that God talks about men, he talks about laying down. The first man, when God was going to have humanity and have marital institution, what did he do for that man? Laid him down and removed something from him. Are you following me at all now? When God was going to talk about marriage, he used the second man. The second man, how did God do it? He had to go to the cross and die. So now, when the Bible is going to talk to us about how men should do, it says you copy how to lay down your life. And you cannot unwrite it. Women are not asked to lay down their life. It's men that are asked to lay down their lives. And it is a huge responsibility. So which means to have the proper next generation, a man must be dying. So as you are growing old, you are dying. And when we are talking about you are dying, don't die irresponsibly. I mean, you are dying, something is going out of you, but just remember that whatever is going out of you is to make the next generation better. It's not that you are losing anything, it's that you are going to make the next generation better. And it has to be a decision, because nobody will force the life out of you. You must be willing to lay it down. You must be willing to lay it down. Sometimes it will be your comfort. Sometimes it will be your ambition. It will be something that is dear to you, that you may have to lay down so that the society can be better. And if you choose not to do it, if you choose to only be self-conceited, self-focused, you will create a problem for the next generation. I'm praying for all the men here that God will help you to lay down something. I said God will help you to lay down something. Let me use that opportunity to quickly say this. Can I ask our DFA boys to file up with their coach? Destiny Football Academy boys, can you file up with their coach? Some few years ago, I saw some young people on the street. 10, 8, 11. And I felt, how can we help some of these young people? Come on, file up. Just bring them up. Bring them up. Just file up. God bless you. Some of them I interviewed, and I found out that some of them came from dysfunctional homes. And I began to ask myself, how can we help some of these young people? And I discovered that our young people like football. Let your captain carry it or your... Yes, captain, carry it. It's your cup. Yeah. And then I discovered that some of them came from dysfunctional homes. Some of them were not this tall. Some of them were... And I remember I shared my aspiration, my desire. That should be about 3 years ago or so, or 4. I shared my desire that we can begin to use football to bring adjustment, to bring correction, to rechannel energy of our young people. Are you following me at all now? And then finally, I was glad that their coach agreed. Their coach now is in the US, Mr. Pokuola, saw to what I was talking about. That man was another selfless man. He liked football. He had passion for football. We couldn't pay him salary. I told him, I don't have that money to pay you salary, but we can do a stipend for recharge card. And he said to me, sir, don't worry. I understand what you are talking about. And then he will volunteer his time to train them. He will volunteer his time to spend time with them. And last week, they went to play and won. So this is their new coach. It's like Ikechukwu. And this is their new assistant coach. Guess what? The two people now, I don't pay them salary. I wish we can give them something, but we don't pay them salary yet. But they are spending their time with them. You can see the way some of them are. No boots. Because as a person, I don't have all the money to buy the boots. But I believe that there is something we can do with them. I believe we can help rechannel their energy, and that's what we are doing. And I'm presenting to you men that these men can be helped. It might just be the fact that you come around and spend some 1 hour with them. It might be that you just take one of them and decide to mentor and show the way up. Before we know what